Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 6th of January through till Sunday the 12th of January 2025. So I trust you had a good start to your year and that this video finds you well. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday the 6th of January and the time is 8:40 a.m. I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So if you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is using my Oracle cards. I've got two decks combined. We have Speed of Light Oracle combined with my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. And I'll be using this deck of 110 cards to find the best cards that the majority of us need for this week ahead. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. I do recommend that you take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what fits into your life easily, and let the rest go. So think of this as a guide only. Okay, let's get started. I'm looking for the best cards that the majority of us need for Monday the 6th of January through till Sunday the 12th of January 2025. And those best cards are these, which I'm just going to lay down here next to me. And I'm a bit sniffly today. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Welcome, Valentina. Okay, so I'm not pulling cards for every day of the week. I don't do that, mainly because I don't want people to get into the habit of me picking a card for every day. We can bunch the days in together. Sometimes we can even pull 2 cards or 3 cards for the one day. I don't want to be limited by, put up a limitation that I have to have 7 cards laid out and one's for every day of the week. It's not happening with me. If you want to do that, you grab your cards and you pull a card for every day of the week. It doesn't work for me. So I have 5 cards laid out here for the week ahead. And I'm just trusting my intuition. So we're looking for, this is the best card for Monday and for Tuesday, the 6th and the 7th of January. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle and it is the Elephant, card 7 for the 6th and the 7th. So it says family commitments. So this is highlighting energy around the family, especially for early in this week. So there might be family members that we're connecting with or spending time with, or that we're caring for, or that need our attention early this week. It could be people, our family in our home that we live with, or family who are visiting, or family who might not even be anywhere near where we live. So what's going on in your family, and what role do you need to play to support or nourish or care for your family members that are highlighted at the moment? Excuse me. Now I'm looking for, this card is for Wednesday, the 8th of January. We've got a Speed of Light Oracle card, and it is this. It's Overlapping Worlds for Wednesday, card 23. And it says transition, sensitivity, temporary, and adjustment. So this is suggesting that we're in between things. We might be feeling like we have a foot in one world, the old world, and a foot in the new world. We may still be tying up loose ends of the past while we're starting to get things happening for the future. So we're sort of spread or stretching ourselves across time, across past and future. It's a bit like, to me, if we were going out of one room and preparing to go into another room. So we're walking through a hallway and we're closing doors, but we're also opening doors. But often these happen simultaneously at the same time. And now this is what I call a transitional period, where we've got things that we're tying up and closing and ending, and things that we're opening and starting and managing for our future. So this transitional periods tend to be unsettling, and we tend to be overly sensitive to during transitional periods. The good thing about transitional periods is that they are always temporary, but how long that temporary is going to be personal and depending on the situation. So a transitional period may last a couple of years. A transitional period may last a couple of weeks or a few months. So it depends on what we're doing. So if we're preparing to move house, for example, we might be tying up things in our current home while we're preparing to move into our new home. So there's a transitional period in there. So Wednesday is a transitional period. We might feel unsettled, especially as the reality of things kick in and we figure out what our next move is. So that's for Wednesday. Excuse me. Thursday, the 9th of January, we have Animal Kingdom Oracle card. And it is the Fiddler Crab card, 46. And it says to be on guard. Be on guard on Friday, but don't be paranoid. So this is keeping things close to our chest. It's also, perhaps for some of us, has an element of keeping things private. You know, sometimes if we've got new ideas or we're trying to figure out how we feel about something, we might be sitting and contemplating how we feel about this before we go talking with others about it. So there is this sense of keeping things private or something private that we still haven't fully fleshed out yet. There is a sense here of being on guard and a sense of security and protection that's coming in with this card too. So some of us may find it helpful to affirm that we are safe and protected. And if we do feel like our safety is at risk on Friday, then we may need to or find it helpful to take steps to protect ourselves or protect our loved ones or protect our possessions if that's what's required. But this is like the shield going up. So this is the crab's claw and it's coming up and it's helping protect us from outside energy, but it's also helping keep things private that need to be private for now. So that's for Friday. Now let's look at, for Thursday, isn't it? That's Thursday. Now I'm looking at Friday. Friday we have the Animal Kingdom Oracle card. That's Friday the 10th. And it is the Rainbow Serpent card 44. And it says, take it to the next level. So some of us may be inspired to upgrade and propel ourselves forward, especially around Friday, where we might feel like there's a springboard feeling where we're jumping on the springing board and it's helping us spring or leap into the next level or leap forward in our life. So it does feel like we're ready for this upgrade and we're ready for this change that this upgrade can bring. Now it's about having the courage perhaps to follow through with our ideas or follow through with the upgrade, because it's a lot darn easier to talk about it than actually do it. So what do we need to follow through with action? What have we been saying that we need to back with action, especially in regards to our upgrade or moving to the next level in our life? Let's stop just talking about it and let's put our money where our mouth is and do it. So this is the energy around for Friday. And some of us may feel inspired to take that next step, to take the action that is required to get the ball rolling in that upgraded direction. So it feels like it's up to us to decide whether we really want to do this or if we've just been talking about it and we don't have any intention on following through with action. And if we don't really have any intention to follow through with action, then why are we talking about it? So that might be worth further exploring if that's where we've been at. Now I've got our last card here for the weekend. So this is for the 11th and the 12th of January. And it's a Speed of Light Oracle cards. And it is the Stag. This is what I call the sad stag. And it's card 49. It says, lost, help, guide, path and discouraged. So this card tends to come up when we've been feeling off track, or like we've gone off our path, or something's just not quite right for us on our path right now. Usually there's a strong mental energy with this card, so it might show that our mind might have us think that we're off our path. Our mind may have us think that we've taken a wrong turn, that we're going backwards, and this is not where we were supposed to be. That feels to be like an illusion, even though it feels very real. Our body is on our path. Our body is always on our path because it's our path. Our path cannot be anywhere else but under our feet. So if our body is on our path and they're aligned and they're together, and our mind is off on some tangent thinking that we're off track or something, then it's our mind that needs to get into alignment with our body and our path. So with that in mind, it might be helpful for us over the weekend to be encouraging to ourselves that I am on track, I am going in the right direction, I am on my path. Now, if something in our life isn't working for us, then that's something for us to observe and notice and do something about if it's required. It doesn't mean we have to maybe tolerate, might be a good word. It doesn't mean we have to subject ourselves to situations that are, let's say, constantly pulling us down or constantly negative. So if there are things that need to be changed in our life, then it's up to us to see that and then make the necessary changes. But if you've been thinking, especially over the weekend, that you're off track, that you're nowhere near your path or your purpose is nowhere to be seen, then just be careful it's not your mind having you think that way. Maybe you're in more of a pessimistic, doubtful, small space mentally. So if you can take steps to encourage yourself and get back on track mentally, get your mind back into alignment with your body. How I do that, I actually work with visualization and breathing, and I take nice big breaths and I imagine breathing up and down my spine, and I use this or imagine this energy around my head as my mind energy. So if I'm feeling like this energy, then my mind energy might be off over there and try and convince me that something's not right about my life, or that I'm not worthy of good things, or whatever it might be. So when I'm getting back into alignment, I want to pull my mind back here where it's supposed to be, around my head, and I want to work with my breathing and my visualization to bring myself back into alignment. Sometimes too, I want to expand my visualization down my body to my feet and down to my path, because after all, this card is about getting into alignment with our path. So if I know the truth, and I can feel it and I know it to be true, at least for me, maybe it's true for you too, maybe it isn't, if I know that my path is always under my feet, then I just need to get all myself back into alignment with my body and with my feet, and then I will know that I am on my path and that I am on track. And if I don't like where I am at this point in my life, then what changes can I make? Instead of disconnecting myself from my life, blaming other people, for example, if I can get back into alignment with myself and my body and my path, then I should be able to see and observe more clearly what I need to do to make changes or improvements in my life, instead of disassociating myself with things, blaming other people, blaming society or whatever it might be, and then disconnecting myself. So once I'm back into connection with me, then I can observe and really honestly look at my life and what changes I might need to make. So we are on track. Let's encourage ourselves over the weekend, but let's also get our mind thoughts back in check so that we can work with our mind to support us being able to live and to be able to move forward, because our mind can be our biggest asset, but it can also be our biggest enemy. So is your mind working with you and for you, or is it working against you? And if it's working against you, then you can take steps to get back on track with your mind, to strengthen your mind again, to pick and choose your thoughts so that you don't have just useless, ridiculous thoughts rolling around in your mind. You can pick and choose your thoughts, And that means I visualize that as like if my life, I was driving a vehicle and my negative lower mind was in the driver's seat of this vehicle and driving me in my life, then I'd be driven by my doubts, my fears, my insecurities, and these ridiculous thoughts that just roll around in the mind. But no, I don't want that part of me to lead the way. So I need to pull that part of me out of the driver's seat, and I need to step in either with my heart or with my higher mind. And what I do is I imagine that lower mind, which is like the ego, that's just sitting right in the back of my vehicle. It's always there. I can't get rid of it, but I can make it quieter and give it some distraction in the background while I lead the way. I refuse to let my lower mind lead the way. I don't want to be led by fear, and I don't want to be led by my insecurities or my wounds or my issues. So I need to choose that. So we can choose what part of us is driving us forward, especially mentally. And if you don't like what you observe about your mind, then you can do something about it. So there are our cards for this week. So I am going to pull a theme card in just a moment, but before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment. Please share if you're inspired to. And if you'd prefer to connect more privately, you can send us a message through our website. Email still exists, by the way. It's funny how people just sort of private message these days, but you know, it wasn't that long ago we used to get hundreds of emails, and then emails just became out of fashion or something. So you can email if you want to. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the work I do here at Temple of Balance, if you would like to support my work so I can keep being able to do these videos and these sorts of videos and share with you, then please consider supporting my work. You can grab yourself a deck of cards if you're interested, Animal Kingdom Oracle or my Speed of Light Oracle cards. You can work with the decks separately or together if you wish. I've also got other decks of cards out as well that I've created and illustrated and have created really from the start. So if you're interested in those, then please have a look online. I've got my next card reading club and online art class. So both happen on Zoom. They're happening next week. So not this coming week, but the week after. So if you're interested, please have a look. And also, if you're in Tasmania, Australia, I am having an exhibition opening for Temple of Balance's 20th birthday. On Sunday the 2nd of February, 2 o'clock for a 2:30 start. It's free, and I'm going to be talking about Temple of Balance. I'm also going to be doing some sound healing, some group sound healing, and there'll be light refreshments, and it will be live streamed on my YouTube channel, Temple of Balance on YouTube, if you can't make it live, but I'll talk more about that later. So let's now look for the best card for the theme. So the theme card will help bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for this week ahead. So the best card for the theme for the majority of us from the 6th to the 12th of January 2025 is this. It's from the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, and it's the Echidna card 19. And it says, don't dwell on the details. Now, the details are important. The details are very important with certain things, but we can overly focus on the details. And that's what this card is cautioning us about for this week for our theme. Let's not overly put weight into things that we don't need to put weight into. You know, if we imagine that someone's thinking this about us, why are we even thinking about that? So, you know, just let's not put little details and little weights, they feel like little weights, onto things that are just not important this week. Let's stay focused on where we're going and focused on what's healthy and supportive for us and just keep moving forward. Let's not invest too much extra time dwelling on something that doesn't need to be dwelled on. Now, we might catch ourselves dwelling on something because we're human and we're probably going to dwell. But if we're if we're observant and if we're self-aware, then we should be able to catch ourselves pretty quickly when we're continuing to dwell on something. Then we can ask ourselves some questions like, is this really that important? Do I need to be dwelling or focusing? It's the same sort of thing, on this particular thing or this situation or this person. Does it really need my attention? Do I really need to lose sleep over this particular thing that I'm probably blowing out of proportion? So dwelling is a sort of focus, but let's make sure this week that we're focusing on the right things. Now, how I determine what that is I ask myself, is this thing I'm focusing on healthy and supportive for me? And if it's not, then I will look further into it. And if it's not, then I'll probably let it go. Is this thing that I'm focusing on, is this on my priorities list? Or is this something that stepped up in priority for me at this particular moment? If so, then it's probably worth focusing on. But let's not go off on dwelling tangents about things this week. And we might have the tendency to do that, especially with the stag card that comes up for the weekend. If we haven't got back in control of our thoughts this week, then we might find ourselves dwelling on things that we don't really want to or need to be dwelling on. So let's just keep going. Let's stopping and digging up the dirt on every little thing and every little word and every little thought and every little assumption. It's unnecessary. So is this important to be thinking about and losing sleep over? If not, let's put it aside and turn our attention to something more healthy and supportive for us. So that's the echidna. Don't dwell on the details. Thank you so much for watching and connecting today. Have a fantastic week ahead. And I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Take care of yourself and goodbye for now.